My current best performing stock I have in my portfolio is Bank OZK. At this point in time, I am up roughly 100% compared to my entry point, which was in July 2020. Last week, however, I sold the majority of my position. Here's why. Heyo value investors, how are you doing? My name is Stijn and welcome to my YouTube channel. We long-term investors focus a lot on buying. Buying the dip, buying great companies for a fair price and holding them for a long ass time. But we rarely talk about selling, and today we are doing just that. So we will be talking about when we should think about selling stocks. Let's get into it. I think there are three main reasons to sell a stock. The first one is the story changes. This happens when you buy a stock without knowing enough about the company or without knowing enough about the sector the company is operating in. Or simply information comes out from the company that you couldn't have known beforehand but is quite bad for the company. So the story can change if you made an error during your research or simply you didn't have access to all the information. And honestly, I think admitting you're wrong or admitting the story changes is a great reason to sell a stock. If the story changes, the potential of the company changes as well. And there's nothing worse than holding onto stock which could have been great, but you now know never will be. The second reason to sell stock is because the company became blatantly overvalued. This happens from time to time. You bought an amazing company for a fair price, and after your purchase, the market started reflecting the company more fairly. At some point, the stock price goes up so much that you honestly cannot reflect that price on any solid fundamental analysis. At some point, there's so much future growth baked into the current share price that the valuation just doesn't make sense anymore. And that for sure is a great reason to sell a stock too. And the third reason to sell a stock we'll talk about is opportunity. Sometimes you are holding a company, we'll call this one company A, which has gone up or down slightly compared to your entry point. And then you stumble across the golden egg. This is the stock you've been looking for your entire life. And the best part is they are trading below intrinsic value. We'll call this one stock B. You now have the following choice. Do you sell a great company to buy an even more amazing company, even if that means selling at a loss? Well, I honestly think you should. If the opportunity is greater in stock B, I think you should hold that one instead. Therefore, I think finding a better opportunity is a great reason to sell a stock too. Now that we have a better understanding of the reasons you could have to sell a stock, I think it is time we should talk about my winner, Bank OZK. Of course, I have done extensive videos on Bank OZK, which will be linked in the description, so you can check those out after this video is done. However, for this video, there are three numbers that are important. So the first number of importance is my buy target, which comes in at $27 per share. Second, intrinsic value. I honestly think this company should be worth around the $55 mark. And third, I think the company can go up to $220 per share if we wait patiently until 2031, or a 5x return compared to today's prices. That brings us to today. OZK is trading around the $44 mark, so certainly below intrinsic value with $11 more to go until $55, which is my intrinsic value for OZK. But also it is trading above my buy target, it's right in the middle. It could be a good hold, especially if OZK was able to go up to $55 before year's end, but obviously we don't know that. And worst case, you'd hold the stock until 2031 for a 5x return, which certainly isn't bad. This is where opportunity comes in, however. There are a couple of opportunities I see in the current market. Some with more risk than OZK, but one with very similar risk compared to OZK. Personally, I see the company Regeneron Pharmaceuticals having very similar risk to OZK, but having way more potential on the long run. The company is a beast financials wise and the growth is still there. Besides, Regeneron is actually trading below my buy target right now. Aside from Regeneron, there are a couple of opportunities I'm currently checking out. Of course, the classics on this channel, Nuvo Monographite and Cratomic. These are quite risky, but extremely high reward if they pan out. Time will tell, of course, but it's certainly a great opportunity. Aside from that, a newer stock on this channel, ASTS, is forming a value proposition that I just cannot pass up on. 125x potential on the 10-year time frame, with the only risk involved is losing your initial investment. So 125 odds to 1, with a low enough percentage that's certainly a gamble I am willing to take. And what's more, options are juicy on that stock. So selling cash covered puts and then selling call options is certainly something I'm very interested in doing on this stock. By the way, check out this video if you want to learn more about writing covered puts on volatile stocks. And the last opportunity for now, BLTR. Because of the recent downtrend, I personally think Palantir is extremely attractive on both the short and the long term. And as with ASTS, options are juicy on Palantir as well. So seeing all these great opportunities and seeing the risk reward scenario for OZK shift slightly to the downside, I think I am making a good decision by selling a huge chunk of my OZK shares. Thus far I have sold about 65% of my position in OZK. And thus far I have used the cash to open positions in some of the opportunities outlined earlier. Of course, I am willing to sell those remaining 100 shares if the opportunities outlined earlier create even better value propositions. Then again, I'm also willing to sell OZK if it becomes blatantly overvalued or if the story changes. Let me know down below what you think about my decision. I am really curious as to what your opinions are regarding selling stocks, especially in a similar position as mine. Anyways, I think that's about it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a like and maybe even subscribe. Comment down below what you want to talk about next, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.